Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have just bashed my knee on my mini fridge. Fucking ow! Anyway, good morning. Welcome to twitch.tv/AskRemotePods. My name is Graham Day. How the devil are you doing? It is 10 a.m. ish. It's now 11:43, so a little bit of the ish today. But do you know what? To celebrate, we gave you guys that are subs access to this. If you're on Twitch, check out the animated issues, the triggered issues. This is what you can use when we're really late. So fill your boots, fill your boots. Anyway, welcome into the show. My name is Graham. This is Bib. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true ice creamy fashion, this is the scoop. Bib, you look like you're chewing the remnants of a double cheesy there. Is that the case?
No, you lies.
A double cheesy.
You lies.
Anyway, yes, this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. We're here to give you our thoughts and our impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and your impressions on our thoughts and our impressions. If you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved. We do this live on Twitch each and every single weekday, and we aim for 10 a.m. ish. It's 11:44, so kind of 10 a.m. Somewhere in the world, potentially, maybe, I don't know. Okay, we'll go with it. Anyway, it's 11:44. We do go live on Twitch, though, each and every single weekday, Monday to Friday. So if you're in the chat, please feel free to get involved, because even though we do stream, we turn this into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube, and an audio podcast that goes on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. We know there's a lot of people that watch and listen to this on demand. Maybe they're on the treadmill, just burning off a few of those extra Uber Eats deliveries that they've got from Dunkin' Donuts. Oh wait, that's just me, but not on a treadmill. It's an exercise bike. All right, let it go. Maybe they're in the car. We don't know. They get to watch and listen on demand, but they don't get to get involved in the chat. So you guys that are here with us on Twitch, you get to do that on behalf of those, and we hope that you do. Before we jump into the show, though, a quick reminder, quick check that chatbot is open. Chatbot is open. Nice. Exclamation mark loot drop in the chat. There's only a few days left, so on Monday we will give a prize away to one person that is a subscriber on this channel. Doesn't matter if you're a tier 1, 2, or 3, or a Prime sub, or you got gifted a sub. As long as you're a sub and you're in our Discord and you've linked your accounts and stuff, Discord and Twitch and all that sort of stuff, then you can be included in this month's loot drop, and the prize will be not that specific shirt, but one of those shirts, an Ice Cream Uploads esports jersey from the Gamers Apparel store, or anything else. You can choose one item of your choice from our merch store. As well as that, shout out to exclamation mark insert coin, because I am wearing the super sexy insert coin green Doom hoodie, which is beautiful. I've only worn it on stream once before, and it was during England's first game of Euro 2021, and I'm now wearing it on stream just after our most recent game of Euro 2020/21, and we just beat Germany, Bib. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming.
It's coming. I mean, I know this is obviously the Euros. It would be nice if we did this in a World Cup, but we can still celebrate it like it's coming home, right?
It's absolutely good. Well, to be fair, I did actually make quite I had like an epiphany moment earlier on in West's chat. Football has been home, and it's actually going away now, because football's been in Wembley for the last 4 games. It's actually going to Rome for a game, and then it's coming back home. So football's leaving home. It's leaving, but then it's coming home. It's coming. Fuck yeah! And as Chapper said yesterday, he had quite a deep, emotive story in the Discord yesterday. If you're not in the ICU Discord, by the way, exclamation mark Discord, we'll give you the link in the chat. And Chapper said, looking back on where we first met, I cannot escape and I cannot forget. Southgate, you're the one. You still turn me on. Football's coming home again. Fucking yeah! And Tito did one that I was going to be singing in the stream today. So there you go, Tito. I'm not going to sing it too much. I'm just going to give you a little bit of it. Nice. Anyway, let's see who's in the chat. Chappers is in the chat. There you go. With the Limmy gifts and the ICU Let's Go emotes. That's incredibly cool. By the way, shout out to anyone that has noticed that or did see our tweet last night. I did tweet out. It was about 10:30. Because late. You know what it is. You're doing stuff on stream when you're doing it in non-streaming hours. Let me copy the tweet. Boom, boom, boom. That is the tweet in the chat. Heads up, as we're Twitch partners, we have access to animated emotes and new follower emotes. So basically, if you're a follower, you now have access to some of our emotes only in this channel. This isn't something that all channels have. This is only the animated emotes are partner exclusive, and the follower emotes are partner/beta exclusive. So we've been included in the follower emotes beta. So yeah, followers, feel free to use the emotes. Other people that are in the channel that are followers and subs should have access to emotes too. So yeah, there you go. As well as that, those subs do get access to the full range of the animated emotes, which we will fully go over those at some point in time. At the moment, we've just used the Twitch easy animation mechanics, which have given us these 5 animated emotes. So we've got the hello, the let's go, the ish, the stay frosties, all animated, and then thrown in Castolo because why not? Why not? Why not? So an animated Castolo too. So there you go. So yes, anyway, that's enough of that. We're not going to spend ages talking about the football like we did yesterday because, we've all done that all night, I imagine. Anyway, I know I have. And this morning too. So we'll leave the football because we do have a good bit of news to jump through. Bib, I've got a question for you though.
Yes.
Would you like to see PlayStation buy more studios?
Yes, to a degree.
Yes, to agree. Oh, that's nice. Well, interestingly, PlayStation have bought a studio, or maybe, as the case may be. Actually, just before we jump into that one, just to give you a little bit of rundown the articles that we're going to go through. PlayStation may have accidentally leaked a Bluepoint Games acquisition. So that's the first story that we're going to lead with. Then we'll then jump into Remedy partners with 505 Games for a Control multiplayer spin-off. Then Phil Spencer hints Xbox hardware roadmap and says no immediate refreshers on the horizon. And finally, it's good to think of Elder Scrolls 6 as still in a design phase. That's from Todd Howard. That will be the final news article of the day. But we'll jump back into the beginning news story, which is this one from Steph Nunneley at VG247, should I say. It says, PlayStation Japan may have accidentally leaked a Bluepoint Games acquisition. It looks like Sony may be announcing another studio acquisition soon if a PlayStation Japan tweet is accurate. Earlier today, the PlayStation Japan Twitter tweeted, "Welcome to the family," regarding Sony's acquisition of Housemarque. The image attached to the now deleted tweet showed Bluepoint Games logo instead of Housemarque. Thanks, Gamatsu. This has led many to believe that Sony has also acquired Dark Souls remake developer Bluepoint. The image in question showed other PlayStation Studio games such as Returnal, Days Gone, The Last of Us Part 2, with Demon's Souls mixed in with the bunch. Another welcome to the family image tweeted by Sony earlier in regards to the Housemarque news doesn't show Demon's Souls included with the other games. This could have either been a mistake on Sony Japan's part or they revealed the news a bit earlier than planned. Either way, we will have to wait on Sony to confirm or deny the news to know for sure. We will update this post with additional information as it comes, and we will update you in the stream as well as soon as we get that additional information. Rumblings regarding a Bluepoint Games acquisition have been making the rounds of the internet since last fall, and again in February, and it was said it wasn't a matter of if Sony would bring the studio into the fold, but when. Bluepoint has a history with Sony, having remastered games such as God of War and God of War 2 for the God of War collection, the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection, Flower, Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection, which included Uncharted 1 to 3, and Gravity Rush. It's also the studio responsible for the Metal Gear Solid HD collection and PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. So there you go. Bluepoint Games may be just about to be announced as being part of the PlayStation family. Thoughts, Bib?
Yes. It's an odd one. I mean, I've just had a look at the chat and I've just seen Tito then saying, is this a knee-jerk reaction to Microsoft snapping up studios? I don't want to say yes, but I can't rule that out. I mean, I will always go down the moniker, and we've said this for the longest time, and I know it's been a hot topic on social media for, I don't know, since probably the Bethesda acquisition. But for me, it's always gamers for everyone. Fair enough if they're going to snap them up so they can try and make as much profit as they can for it. I'm not going to side with either Xbox or PlayStation with this. I am more than happy to get splinters on my ass when it comes to this kind of subject. I'm always games for all first, but I can't help but feel that this is trying to take as both sides of the coin are both trying to take as much market share as they possibly can. I don't think this is a knee jerk. I think this is something that they may have been looking at for a while. It just all comes down to timing, doesn't it? I mean, the next acquisition, if it's in the next month, you could probably say yes, it is now starting to try and monopolize. But I genuinely have no idea. I don't know, but honestly as well, I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, again, games for everyone. That's always been my moniker. So I don't know. I'll see how this affects everybody else down the line.
See, It's another interesting one. It's another interesting one. So if you missed the news yesterday, we bumped in at the start of the show that PlayStation had bought Housemarque Studios, aka the developer of games like Resogun and Returnal. So I mean, we're starting off with that. Did that get confirmed, by the way? Was that a confirmed message or was that a leaked message?
I see. I saw the reason I found it was because I see it. It was a Eurogamer that I posted to yesterday, and then as I posted that into the chat and was reading through it, other news sources started to report on it as well. So I don't know whether or not it was just rumor that caught fire, or it was speculation, or it was actually true. I haven't gone back and double checked it. I've just seen that various news sources have started to announce it, and it wouldn't surprise me if it has been set in stone or confirmed or whatever. I mean, Gary's just said there that it has been confirmed. So yeah.
Nice. So, I mean, we have confirmation that Housemarque is part of the PlayStation Studios family. So, we're talking yesterday. We mentioned about like Haven Studios or whatever it was called. The developer that was it one of the team from Google Stadia, like the VP of Games or something like that, had moved out to Haven. I mean, I could be mixing the details up. Basically, PlayStation has bought up a few studios recently. Set up a few studios recently. It's probably the best way of putting that. Devs without a home, they have helped set up and establish. But now, within the space of 24 hours, less than, two other studios have been announced as being part of the PlayStation family. So the question I want to ask is the one that Tito kind of asked, except he added 72 uses of the word instead in it, as he mentioned with his follow-up tweet. Is this a knee-jerk reaction to Microsoft snapping up studios? Didn't Sony say this wasn't a strategy they wanted to pursue and instead wanted to develop IPs through third parties? There's not that many. So didn't Sony say this wasn't the strategy they wanted to pursue and instead wanted to develop IPs through third-party studios? They did, but is that this? Is that what this is? So we've got Housemarque that is making PlayStation exclusive games, and we have Bluepoint Games that is making PlayStation exclusive remasters and games. Is this PlayStation just getting their house in order? Is it the same as, like, say, having talented freelance staff working exclusively for you, knowing that let's use news outlets, VG247. Let's say Steph Nunneley is a freelance news writer for VG247. If VGC see actually Steph Nunneley is kicking ass with those news articles, her editorial pieces are really good. She's on point with the news, super fast. We'd like a bit of that. Is this VGC going, actually, we don't want you to be freelance. We're going to give you a good staff wage, so you are part of our staff now. People can't just make you write for them as well. Is that not just this? And if it is, should that be treated differently from the Xbox? I mean, I'm wearing the Doom hoodie, not even knowing this was going to be the on the news today, but the Doom / Bethesda / ZeniMax Media purchase that Xbox made. Is that different to this? Should they be both? Because, I mean, one of the questions, I don't know if it was Next Gen Base that mentioned it yesterday, is like there was a lot of negativity around the Bethesda acquisition. Should there be negativity around this? Or does the fact that this is basically freelance staff being given a full-time job, does that make it exceptional? Should anyone get any shit for that sort of stuff? What do you guys think? What do you think, babe?
I don't think it's a bad thing. First and foremost, they're just trying to cover themselves out. They're trying to secure the bag. That's one thing that never gets really talked about. It's always what side are they going to be playing for. But they're just trying to future-proof themselves, are they not? But at the same time, if they're paying you wage, are you entitled to just work for them? We genuinely have no idea yet. And we still don't know what the Bethesda deal is going to entail. Like, it will all of the games that they've got planned come out for any other console? My gut has changed to probably not now. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know, Graham. There's something that I come across this morning I wasn't expecting to. I mean, this is all still speculation. This is a tweet that's accidentally been done. Obviously, someone's created the asset somewhere, and it's been published by accident. But still, it's going to get announced at some point. But I don't know. Again, I'll always die on the games for everyone moniker, so I hope that is the case. But who knows, Graham? Who knows?
Next Gen Base's acquisitions will take a very long time. Don't think it's a knee-jerk reaction, as the recent acquisitions are studios that have mostly been PlayStation second parties for a while. Exactly. There you go, second parties. That's a better phrase rather than freelance staff. But you know what
I never talk about that. A second party is always first or third party. Like, It's the same with second or third person. Like, where's the second? Is there a second person? Is it when you write from somebody else's perspective? I don't know. It's odd.
Next gen base is official. I got the press release. That's in regards to the Housemarque acquisition. Tita saying, not saying it's a bad thing at all. Just wonder how long it'll be before Sony do some sort of deal whereby for $9.99 a month you get access to hundreds of games, including day one release, and you can even banter. Genuinely, for the first few words of that, I did not know that is where that was going. But
It roped him in.
yeah, you could tell where the tone of my voice changed because I was reading it's like not saying it's bad at all. I just wonder how long it'll be before Sony do some sort of, and it was deal. That's where I was like, deal whereby for no. So GG's, you got me. GG's, nice. This is nothing like what Xbox have done. Xbox needed to either build brand new studios or buy some, and they went for the latter. Sony are being picky with the studios that were basically Sony studios, even though they were independent. I mean, that's the thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like not that there's baited just a little bit. Not that there's a better way of doing it, because there is no better way. There is no right way of doing it. But a lot of Sony's acquisitions have been exactly that. There have been studios that have made Sony titles. So the likes of the, I mean, obviously Insomniac did Sunset Overdrive for Xbox, but the likes of Insomniac that more recently have done a lot of work with PlayStation, and the likes of the Naughty Dogs that have done a lot of work with PlayStation, they are buying their friends, their close allegiance. They aren't just going, do you know what? You work with everyone else too. So is that better? I mean, I kind of feel like it is. And the reason I feel that is because I completely agree with Bibby's Games for Everyone mention. I would like everyone to play everything. But stuff that's only on Sony, Xbox players aren't losing out if Sony just secures that bag for them and their second parties. But for people that play Doom, like I'm wearing, you won't be able to do that potentially on PlayStation in future. And that's the opposite of Games for Everyone. I know PlayStation buying their own studios and locking that down, but they were making PlayStation only games anyway, so no one on other platforms are losing out. And I think that's where it's a little bit different for me. I've got nothing wrong with PlayStation strengthening their brands and strengthening the teams beneath them, because those developers now have a lot more security in theory for their next titles. They have a lot more resources. And one of the things that you will see with PlayStation Studios is that Guerrilla just isn't Guerrilla anymore. Guerrilla will speak with Insomniac, and Insomniac will have communications with Naughty Dog. Herman Hulst will sit at the top of all of that and will feed information across and go, do you know, actually, you're working on that technology. We've already done this in PlayStation Studios over here. Share resources, pool the ideas, and for that dev, that's pretty cool. That is nice. So if they're only ever going to be building PlayStation exclusive titles, they might as well do that from within the inside. They will have access to everything. So it's not games for everyone, but it's better games for the people, for everyone that was going to be getting that game anyway. So it's a good thing in that sort of sense. So we're discussion.
What I won't mind seeing.
Continue. So
is if they're going to secure them, if they're going to secure these studios, that's absolutely fine. Do whatever you want. As again, I would love to see the games for everyone moniker being instilled across the entirety of the video game spectrum. But what I wouldn't mind seeing is, if that is the case, make it a timed exclusive so that eventually you'll be able to play these games. Like, eventually you might be able to play Elder Scrolls. Eventually you might be able to play Spider-Man or Ratchet and Clank. I know Ratchet and Clank will never be the case. I don't think it will never go over to the Xbox side of it. But if they were going to secure these studios that once started to put games on other consoles, just make them timed exclusives. I think more people would probably be a lot happier with that, and eventually you're able to play the games. But now that isn't the case, is it? It's just, what side are you? Are you blue? Are you green? Are you red?
It's quite funny because, I mean, I know it's a very flawed analogy before I even say it, but that's like a club signing Ronaldo and getting a shitload of shirt sales. But then, say if United bought Ronaldo back this summer and started selling a shitload of shirts with Ronaldo on the back, Juventus suddenly can't start selling that. I know there's many flaws in that, in the fact that why would you want it? He's turned his back on your club. He's not part of your club anymore, and and stuff like that. But it's there are some similarities, but that's where the video games industry is unique, in the fact that it's not a property that's the intellectual property is owned but the experiences that come from those properties aren't owned. And that's the thing. We as gamers feel like we own those experiences because we do own those experiences. And having those experiences that we should, and for all intents and purposes, other than business, have access to, have been taken away from us. And that's kind of where it gets difficult. But Camaldino says, afternoon homies. Thank you very much, dude. Welcome into the stream. 9 whole months. We got a wee baby. Not a baby, but a baby. That's an emote that we need. We need ICU baby. ICU baby. Shaking that ass. Subscribing on Twitch. That's what
Day one.
Yeah. Cheers, Cam. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Next Gen Base says, it's a weird discussion. Bethesda were a renowned multi-platform publisher with multiple studios. These studios are smaller and were traditionally PlayStation studios. I'm not really a fan of gobbling up studios all over the shop to stop folks playing games on either side, but it is what it is. Next Gen Base also says, best option for people at this point, in my opinion, is to get a PS5 and a Series S and a Game Pass. It's pricey, but it gives you the option to play everything. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree in that sort of sense. Obviously, well, neither of us are fanboys.
Still cheaper than most graphics cards.
And you can actually, I'm going to say, and you can get your hands on them. You've got a better chance of getting a PS5 than you have of a 3080 kind of stuff. So yeah, yeah,
times infinity.
Exactly. Anyway, so we're moving ahead. PlayStation purchased another studio potentially. Not confirmed. It was a leak from PlayStation's own channels in Japan, quickly deleted and removed. Could it be a mistake? Maybe. But the effort that someone's gone through to write the tweet and create an asset with those details can't be, surely, right? I mean, it could look like that because things like that can be enough to kill deals dead in the water. So maybe the Bluepoint Games purchase just won't happen now because of that. I don't know. We will see. When we get updates, we will let you know. Just like this, our next bit of news. Remedy partners with 505 Games for Control multiplayer spin-off. This is written by Sean Murray at The Gamer. The tagline says, Remedy and 505 Games have signed papers to create a brand new co-op spin-off along with a bigger budget Control game. So Remedy Entertainment has just announced some big plans for Control, which will soon become a franchise and not just an award-winning action game. Not only will Remedy and publisher 505 Games create a new Control game, but they'll also be creating a co-op multiplayer spin-off set in the Control universe. Today, Remedy Entertainment and 505 Games announced that we have signed a new... Actually, let me start that again because this is a quote. I didn't call that out. Quote, today, Remedy Entertainment and 505 Games announced that we have signed a new game codenamed Condor, which is a spin-off set to expand the world we kicked off with Control, said game director Mikhail Kasurinen in an update on Remedy's website. Control is first and foremost a world, a place for multitudes of stories, events, and characters, Kasurinen added. A place where unexpected, strange, and extraordinary things occur. We kicked it off with Jesse's entry into the oldest house, but there is more to this world. Oh, so much more. In a separate press release, Remedy revealed that the Control spin-off will be a 4-player PvE co-op game. It will be built in Remedy's Northlight engine with a budget of 25 million euros. The setup sounds like something similar to Back 4 Blood, Redfall, or any of the other co-op shooters that are coming out in the near term, but that's just an assumption at this point. Remedy didn't provide any additional details. This marks the first time since 2011's Death Rally remake that Remedy steps into the world of multiplayer games. Kasurinen said that the Vanguard team has already made awesome progress on answering the questions of what would a Remedy multiplayer game look like. Along with the co-op spin-off, Remedy also confirmed that another bigger budget Control game is currently in the works, but offered no details or time frame. Quote, it's going to be a long time before we show off these projects, Kasurinen cautioned, leading us to assume that both Control games are still in the early stages of development. In the meantime, Remedy is co-developing Crossfire X, which is still due out sometime this year for Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Control multiplayer, big brand new Control game with big budgets. Would you like either of those, Bib? Both of those, Bib? What are we saying?
Well, it's the same kind of question that we asked ourselves earlier in the week about Insomniac, or was it last week? Insomniac creating a melee combat multiplayer game. Like, when you think of the games that they've produced, or what games you could see it trying to emulate, what are we going to get from a game similar to Control, PvE 4-player environment? But the games that they mentioned, obviously like Back 4 Blood and Rainfall, games like that, you could absolutely see it being something like that. But is that too obvious? Is this going to be something a little bit different? I genuinely have no idea. Like, it's going to be a while till we see anything like this. I mean, we've made the speculation about what Somniac game could look like. I have genuinely no idea what this could be. Is this going to be like the Battle Royale boom that we saw, that type of genre of game where we're going to be getting something like Back 4 Blood and Redfall? Again, like they've mentioned in the article, we're going to get a version of those, but set similar to Control. I genuinely have no idea. But that's the exciting part about video games, isn't it? Sometimes some things are so far left field that you genuinely can't see it coming, or it's hidden in plain sight and you have just gone around the houses to try and speculate. But really, it's just going to be Control in with 3 of your mates in an environment where you're going to be playing against a computer. It could go either way, and I think it'd be a success. It's just, are we going to get too many of these PvE 4-player games in 1 year? Is this going to be the new boom? Again, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm genuinely intrigued because I'm trying to stop myself from having that fatigue where you get multiple things at the same time. A lot of people had it with BR. It never really happened to me with BR because BR speaks so well to me. But I'm kind of having a little bit that BR fatigue, but with these 4-player fire team sort of games. And I've not played any of them yet because they're not out yet, but they're just all coming in so quick succession. So we've got, I mean, whatever the ones that named in the article. So Back 4 Blood and Redfall. We've got that Alien. What was that? Is it Alien? Was that Fire Team? Is that what it was called? Elite? I can't remember. Whatever. The Aliens game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So we've got those plus this. I'm trying to not let myself be like, okay, they're all just going for that mechanic because that mechanic could be easy to do and could be a little bit naff. But I think Luke Pastille, good morning, by the way, Luke, has kind of nailed what I'm thinking with his comments in the chat. PvE with Control's psychic powers is enough for it to stand out for me. And I think that's the thing with all of these games. They're all kind of same, but different, which is the key thing. In terms of Battle Royale, you can have wonderful Battle Royale experiences. We mention it time and time again. Well, I mentioned PUBG time and time again, but that's not what I was meaning. But like, I play a lot of PUBG, so I play a lot of Battle Royale. But me and Bib fucking throwing some lightsabers into Fortnite, best Battle Royale ever for 3 weeks at Christmas, and then we'll put it back away again for a little bit. But I've had so many good Battle Royale experiences that are varied. Warzone is an incredible game. If you've got a couple of mates in and you play trios, or 3 mates and you play squads, whatever, and you just running and gunning, such a good atmosphere. And these games are all different. Back 4 Blood is just the fucking guns and bullets to shoot them explosions and you're dead. But then you've got Redfall, which kind of had a little bit of that Fortnite aesthetic to it, a little bit animated, superpowery kind of stuff, but not superpower. Yeah, I mean, but I definitely want to see more. And then Aliens, I mean, fucking Xenomorphs, that's enough to say there, or Xenomorphs, however you want to pronounce it. And then Control with the psychic powers, all gonna be very, very different games. I mean, different environments. If Alien was a little bit darker, I'd be happier with that in terms of that scare the shit out of you, jump scare sort of environment. That would give me the same sort of feels as COD Zombies. When you're playing COD Zombies and you've just got things that are like suddenly it's like, oh look, there's a silly zombie trying to pull a piece of wood off the wall, and then fast forward 10 minutes, you're like, oh my god. And just screaming as fucking things are coming from left, right, and center. But that's kind of like, that's almost comedy fear, whereas the psychological fear that you get in Aliens is completely different. So I'd love to see that go darker. I'd love to see Back 4 Blood be over the top, but just so that they're all different. But then again, I mean, as long as they stay true to their own thing, then I'm excited to see more, but I want to see some of them first before I'm going to let myself judge it, because my initial instinct is to be, okay, everyone's just going to try and rinse and repeat a formula here. Clearly, they know that something's working. As long as we don't get into that rinse and repeat bit, then this is fine by me. I'm definitely excited. I mean, off the bat, I would be more excited to see what this big budget Control game is, because I'm your standard big AAA story guy. Yes, that's me, please. But yeah, I do like the sound of it. Aliens on hardcore mode, friendly fire from the start, limited ammo. Who's in? Who's crying after 3 minutes? Me. Make it stop. Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. So there you go. New Control Games, Remedy and 505 Games have announced a partnership. They will be working on a multiplayer game. The first multiplayer game from, was it 2014, did they say? Basically, they haven't done a multiplayer game for a long time. Is that something we should be worried about? We'll find out, no doubt, over time. Or do we believe in their ability to deliver a game? I mean, they delivered Control, which came out of nowhere for a lot of people, and absolutely smashed it, winning awards left, right, and centre. So surely with that, a team that's that dedicated, delivering online multiplayer should be fine. Should be fine, right? Right? Yeah, we'll believe. We'll believe. Anyway, so there's that plus a bigger Control game with a bigger budget coming afterwards. But let's take a step. So we've gone from PlayStation, we've gone to the middle grounds. Now let's jump over to the green side of the gaming sphere as we have some Xbox news for you guys. As Phil Spencer hints at Xbox hardware roadmap, says no immediate refreshers on the horizon. This is written by Taylor Lyles at IGN, and it says the Xbox Series X and S are expected to be on the market for years, according to Spencer. Let's jump into the main article then. So the Xbox Series X and S home consoles have been out for a little over 7 months. As the 1-year anniversary for both consoles draws near, Microsoft has reaffirmed that its current console models are here to stay, with no hardware refreshers expected anytime soon. During the 500th episode of Podcast Unlocked, 500, I mean, that's quite a lot. I mean, do you know what's also quite a lot, babe? 400. 400 is a shitload, isn't it? I mean, imagine if the world's best podcast did 400 episodes. Oh, wait, that's us. And that's happening on Friday. Oh, my God. Anyway, back into the article.
Oh my God.
What's the chances of that? During the 500th episode of Podcast Unlocked, Xbox head Phil Spencer discussed the hardware roadmap for both consoles and noting that he does not expect either console to have a model refresh in the near future. Quote, there's nothing that's going to come out next year that's going to make you feel like, oh, I should have waited, Spencer told IGN. Quote, these are the consoles that we have in markets for years, and we built them with that in mind. And I love the tech that's in there and that capability, and that's where our focus is going. With Spencer seemingly confirming that the future-proof build of both the Series X and S, it feels unlikely that either console will see a model refresh. During the previous generation, Microsoft released the Xbox One, which lasted for 3 years until it was succeeded by the Xbox One S in 2016. A year later, Microsoft released the Xbox One X, which gave the original hardware a substantial boost. In 2019, Microsoft released an all-digital version of the Xbox One S. Quote, we don't have to do hardware just to go do it, which is not the first time that's been said over the last couple of weeks. Anyway, we want to do hardware because it actually creates new opportunities, Spencer states regarding the Xbox Series X and S. And I've said it before, I could be at the lower end. It could be at the lower end that we find more immediate opportunities. Yet Spencer did not shut down the possibility of the future hardware model. Okay, let me start again. Yet Spencer did not shut down the possibility of the future hardware models launching in the Xbox Series lineup as the company continues to explore ways to get more people playing Xbox products and services. Should get rid of that. That's what threw me off. On the question of a potential update in the future, Spencer says the team is, quote, having those conversations right now. I've said it before, it could be at the lower end that we find more immediate opportunities. There's something for us to do that allows more people to play with xCloud, Spencer said. Is there something to do at a higher end? We're having those discussions right now. I love the capability of the hardware team, and it will be kind of a constant conversation. This comes with no surprise for Xbox, as the company has made it clear that as it expands the Xbox ecosystem to other devices like smart TVs and streaming sticks, the Xbox game console hardware will continue to remain the flagship experience for those looking to experience games through the Xbox brand. So your Xbox, it's going to stick around. No immediate upgrades, or at least not for the next few years anyway, according to Phil Spencer. What are your thoughts on that, babe?
Do you know what? I think this was their roadmap all along. And we've started to see that through the xCloud stuff and being able to play it on any kind of, being able to play Xbox Game Pass, for instance, on any kind of device. This doesn't surprise me. Like, I think this is, for the time being, the consoles that we've got, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, are the two best consoles that are out there. Obviously, you've got your PC. If you're able to do that, you can have the graphics cards. But with the fact that you are able to play games over the cloud now on whatever device that you want, this doesn't surprise me, because even if the hardware on the inside wasn't up to scratch, we'll be able to stream these games in 3 or 4 years' time. Hopefully, a lot better than what we can do now. Because in some instances, it's really good, some it's really poor. But it doesn't surprise me because if they've got the Xbox Series X, for instance, now, and they didn't bring out another console for 10 years, but streaming games in 4 years' time was a super viable option, and it was lag free. It was as good as it could ever look. All the servers around the world are just putting out. They're able to cope with the demand, shall we say, and you're able to play games in 4K streamable. There's genuinely no reason why they need to release a new console because the cloud will be doing it for them. It's just a device that you're playing the console on. You'll be able to do it on a tablet. You don't need a 450 pound console to be able to do it. You can do it off your mobile phone, your tablet, the shittest laptop that you potentially possess. As long as it's connected via Ethernet cable, you're probably good to go. Like, I think this was their roadmap all along, and I think we've been talking. Definitely, the people in the chat have been talking about it since forever as well. It's just unfortunate, like Stadia's been left behind, and Luna hasn't even come out yet. I mean, you haven't even heard much about it. But these streaming services are in off the ground. It's just how long will it last in a foot race with something like Xbox and their xCloud service? I think it's only a matter of time before we start to have consoles disband collecting consoles. It will cater to a large market still, but technology moves on. And if you don't need the best of the best to be able to play the best of the best, then why would you pay the best of the best prices?
It's interesting because like there's that side of the coin where yes, xCloud playing online will be the future, and I still genuinely believe that will be the future. But is the future here? Do we want the future sooner than the future can be achieved? And for a lot of people, the future can't be achieved right now. Internet connection speeds, internet, what's the word? Like usage caps, data caps, and so on. They're still huge in certain parts of the world. I mean, I'm fine enough here, ish. I'm fine enough once I've got a connection, and if it remains stable, I can do what I want on it. But I use Sky, so my internet shits itself. Does that mean I'm going to lose my game entirely, or whatever kind of thing? So there is that sort of stuff. So we're not quite there yet. But the other bit that does make it quite interesting is that Phil Spencer says something and nothing at the same time. Phil Spencer hints at Xbox hardware roadmap, says no immediate refreshes on the horizon. And if you actually look at this wording for it, there's nothing that's going to come out next year that's going to make you feel like, oh, I should have waited, which is fine. If you bought an Xbox One, nothing came out next year that made you think you should have waited. But if you went 2 years later on, then something did come out that made you feel like you should have waited. Or if you bought that Xbox One S, then something did come out next year. So if we're drawing comparisons with that timeline, it could still be another 2 years after next year before they bring out their next console. So whilst he has said something, he definitely hasn't said anything that counteracts the last generation of consoles, because the Xbox One was a powerful console. It was the most powerful console on the market, I believe. But it could have done more. It could have been better. And they realized that because technology past one of those like turning points where they thought, fuck, okay, we've got things to change, so we will change that within 3 years. So yeah, I definitely believe Bibbs is right in terms of they are focusing on what he calls the bottom end, basically the easy wins. Okay, we don't need to worry about getting the equivalents of the 3080s and the 3090s and the TI graphic cards in the consoles and the SSDs and that velocity architecture. We don't need to worry about all of that stuff because we can just make games more accessible and easier to play for everyone on the in the cloud wherever. So, yeah, I don't think, even though he's talking about hardware and basically saying they're not planning to release anything, I don't think that really boxes off consoles yet. I do feel though that is them saying that okay, what we're actually going to be doing is working on other ways to make people play, to get them in, so that we can lift up the bottom end of that cloud expectation, be that finding ways to get around data caps, be that finding ways to make it more stable, be that finding ways to give you higher frames and refresh rates and so on, wherever you're playing, whatever you're playing on. But yeah, I still don't think that would box us off, because we've seen in the last generation, particularly, that extra versions of consoles, so be that a Slim, be that a Pro, be that an S or an X or a whatever, extra versions of consoles are good money for console manufacturers. So him saying there's nothing on the immediate horizon and not in the next year. Okay, a year is a very, very short space of time for what can change in the console life cycle. Also, Nintendo said there's no Switch Pro coming, and we still believe that that's coming. So take it with a pinch. I think it's probably right. They've got no plans right now, and I wouldn't have it either. Why mix it up? You are absolutely killing it with the Xbox Series S, the Xbox Series X, and Game Pass. Why throw in something else into that mix to mix it up? It's just there's no need for it. So I don't believe that they're going to be working on hardware just yet. But for me, it was never about what's coming out in the next 12 months. It's what's coming out in the next 36 months. I wouldn't be surprised to see a new Xbox, or not a new Xbox, but the next iteration of the series consoles in 36 months. I still think that's a possibility. That pause from G then made me think a rip was coming. What, from the internet?
Don't put that out there in the
Fuck's
ether.
sake.
We don't need it.
Although, just before I went live, Danielle did say that the internet has been shite for her all morning. So there is good potential that it could shit itself today. Although, just to point out, there is going to be no afternoon stream, unless it's a late afternoon stream, because I have some work stuff to do. Plus, I also have afternoon tea. So I don't know if I mentioned it on yesterday's stream or the day before. Chloe's school was one of the many schools that it was on the news last night saying a lot of schools have had all the kids sent home for isolation because people in their schools have caught COVID. I was like, I know, we're in that situation, so Chloe can't leave the house. So I've ordered us afternoon tea. So I will not be on straight after this because we're having a nice sit down afternoon tea jobby, and I've got work bits to do. But yeah, maybe later in the afternoon. I'm not sure. I'm not going to confirm that, but you will if you follow the channel, you get notified anyway. Just want to mention that. But the good thing is, my dog shit internet, if it holds for this, we don't have to worry about it for afterwards. Nice. Stadia, don't say that on Twitter. Fuck's sake. Xbox was great hardware. They just forgot the games. They did. And they realised that there was even greater hardware potentials coming out as well. The Xbox One X is a phenomenal console, and the One S as well. So they realised that, okay, well, we haven't got the games. How can we fix that? Because we're not going to have the games. How about we bring out an even more powerful console? It's like your console's already powerful enough, but okay. So yeah, that's kind of what they went with it. Anyway, yeah, don't slate Stadia. 6 months later, you'll have fanboys quote tweeting you and dogpiling. Yeah, that guy, what a dick. TV, connect, TV, says Gary. Exactly. Afternoon tea, fuck me, someone's doing well. Actually, we've got afternoon tea delivered, mate. Delivered. It's from Morrison's. So there you go, Morrison's, which is actually wonderful. Danielle loves afternoon tea. See, we've done like two types of afternoon tea. We've done afternoon tea, which is like your tea and your scones and stuff like that, which I don't mind. Shitloads of sandwiches and cakes. What's wrong with that? Yes, please. But then we've also done like gentleman's afternoon tea, which had like mini sliders, pulled pork, beef brisket, and a pint of beer kind of thing. We've done that one as well. So. But yeah, afternoon tea, posh bastard. Surely biologic afternoon tea should be eaten in the evening, as you say, is dinner for a normal person. No, it's just one of those things. It's called afternoon tea because it's a stupid name. It's just a stupid name. That's what it is. So yeah, it's a stupid name for stupid people. And we're just dabbling with the stupidity because we know it should be afternoon dinner. So there you go. Delivered out with some bloke with a thermos chucking it at you then. It's actually... It's delivered items. It's basically, you still got to make it yourself. So I can show you. So it looks. Is it got the food box? I'd show you the next picture, but it has my address on it. Although you probably won't see that. I hope. There you go, food box. There you go. But yeah, it's all in a box. So we just plonk it on plates ourselves. But we do have the afternoon tea plates. I bought them like either a Mother's Day or an anniversary back for like £8 on Amazon. The stacking plates that's got like a big one at the bottom, and then a little one, and then a tiny one at the top for the scones and shit. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, next story. So Xbox hardware is going to remain the same. It's here to stay, or is it? Is it? Just because Phil Spencer said it doesn't mean it's going to be true. I mean, he did say that Xbox were going to be making games for all people and not just Xbox. So awkward. Graham's sat here wearing his green Xbox Doom hoodie. Nice. Final news of the day, though, and not moving too far from that. Tom Ivan says at VGC, he has the article that says, should I say, it's good to think of Elder Scrolls 6 as still in a design phase, says Todd Howard, game director, says the upcoming RPG will benefit from new Starfield tech. So Bethesda's Todd Howard has said the Elder Scrolls 6 is still in the relatively early planning stages. Nobody's really interested in the Elder Scrolls. Are they really? Just looks at Bib. Pip's
Oh,
currently
shite.
seething. The Elder Scrolls 6 was announced at E3 2018 with a brief teaser trailer, which confirmed that the sequel was in pre-production at Bethesda Game Studios. However, another Bethesda title, Starfield, was also announced at E3 2018 and is ahead of the fantasy game in the company's release pipeline. Howard, who oversees development of the long-running RPG series and is directing Starfield, recently told the Telegraph that the next Elder Scrolls game will benefit from the development work the studio is currently doing on the sci-fi title, which is scheduled to release in November 2022 for platforms which support Game Pass. This is a quote, by the way. The new Starfield technology, Creation Engine 2, is sort of built for both games. He said. It's like a new tech base. The vast majority of our development work is on Starfield right now, but everybody works on everything, so the projects kind of intertwine. It's good to think of the Elder Scrolls 6 as being in a design phase, but we're checking the tech. Is this going to handle things we want it to do in that game? Every game will have some new suites of technology, so Elder Scrolls 6 will have some additions onto the Creation Engine 2 that the game is going to require. In May 2020, Bethesda's SVP of Global Marketing, Pete Hines, said that fans were unlikely to hear about the Elder Scrolls 6 until work on Starfield was completed. Hines tweeted, "It's after Starfield, which you pretty much know nothing about. So if you're coming at me for details now and not years from now, I'm failing to properly manage your expectations." Howard previously said Starfield will feature Bethesda's biggest engine overhaul since 2006, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and in a blog post discussing Microsoft's $7.5 billion acquisition of Bethesda in March, Howard said the sci-fi RPG would feature all new technologies that will eventually power the Elder Scrolls 6 too. So Elder Scrolls 6, Bib, we're not going to really hear anything about it until after November next year. It's still in design phase. What are your thoughts? I mean, you're gonna have to kind of stretch with this. I know you're not a big fan of Elder Scrolls. I know that you've not bought it 27 times, but try give us an answer.
I mean, it's going to give me enough time to at least be able to buy a decent graphics card or a new console. Do you know what I
mean? don't tempt fate.
But yeah, I mean, we've waited. When did it come out now? Are we looking at 8 years, maybe 9 years since Skyrim came out? So, like, I'm sure I'll be able to wait like another 3 years. We've got ESO, which keeps on just banging on the door of potentially one of the best MMOs that there's ever been. So I've got more than enough to be able to take down in between. But yeah, we knew that this was going to be forever. At least he's kind of given us a small window of when to expect something, albeit it's another 18 months away. But it is what it is. So we'll have to wait and see what he's got to say in 18 months' time. But I can't wait. Like when we start to see more Starfield stuff, I think that's when people will start to be, oh my god, it's close. It's getting there. I can't wait to see what kind of technology they use. So let's say Starfield may be the first thing that we see that has the capabilities of what we could see incorporated into the Elder Scrolls. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, it is bizarre. I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe when Pete Hines has tweeted that we're not going to see anything for Elder Scrolls 6 until Starfield is completed, then he's tweeted that a while ago. Maybe all that good stuff. Anyway, that was May 2020. So, oh no, actually, it was May 2020. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'll revert my steps. I was going to say that was last month, but no, it wasn't. It was 13 months ago. So a lot has changed then. So, I mean, if we're taking 13 months ago comments as gospel, we're not going to see this for another 13 months-ish now. But yeah, I don't think that's the case. If they're talking to the Telegraph about the next game and having semi-candid conversations about how the engine used in Starfield will also be the engine that's used in Elder Scrolls 6, I do think we will start to see maybe a drip feed, maybe not full on like Night City Wire sort of cyberpunk-esque bits of information. Maybe we'll see a trailer here and there. Maybe at the next Xbox conference, we might start to get some sort of dev updates on where they are with it or whatever. Maybe. But yeah, if Starfield isn't out until the end of next year, this is not going to be out until the end of the year after, 2023, which is a long old time away. But there you go. I mean, Elder Scrolls you can play it on calculators these days, so it's fine. You just play wherever.
It's everywhere.
They'll just repeatedly release Skyrim until then. I mean, they will, and Bibby will repeatedly buy it.
Yeah, I'm sick of it, but I'm also love it at the same time. But I think what they did with ESO, trying to bring it from when I got that game, I've said this quite a lot on this podcast, but when I first got ESO on PlayStation 4, I couldn't wait to play it, and then realized what a bag of shit it actually was. So I played it for like a month. It was shite. Didn't like it. I mean, I thought the same thing with Skyrim, to be perfectly honest. It just work how it should. Eventually, like a year later, 2 years later, I went back to ESO on my PlayStation 4. Absolutely loved it. It's like they just changed everything. They brought it, they give the game a personality, something for you to be able to sink your teeth into. So restarting my character again, loved it. Then realized when I'm watching people stream it that theirs look hell of a lot better than mine. Perform better. I was like, fuck this, I'm buying it again for my PC. So I started my character again. I'm now like 180 hours into the PC version of it. I know that's just scraping the barrel of an MMO, but that's a lot of time for someone like me who doesn't play games all day, every day.
No, he plays all games all day, every day, so he doesn't play any game all day, every day.
Yeah, like an hour each game. But like giving the Elder Scrolls world a personality is a very difficult task because you're having to bow to a lot of people's expectations, and everybody's expectations are completely different. So I like what they do with ESO, where they're just patching in different worlds, and giving you different characters, different attire, different raids to be able to go and do. That's what an MMO
Like
does.
one
Attire, yeah. Well, that's what MMOs do very, very well. They keep you interested. That's what a proper live service game should do. I just can't wait to see where this is going to take us, a single player experience. Like that's a that's a different beast to be able to try and take down. No pun intended. But yeah, I can't wait. If I have to wait another 3 years, that's fine. It is what it is. I've got ESO in the meantime.
tried to do voice mod. I don't know if it worked. Fuck. Bibby is nerd confirmed, says Tito. This is a Bethesda game. I wonder how fuck this game will be at launch. Most Bethesda games are as broken as Oscar Pistorius' bathroom door, says Gary. Yikes. There's a Gary Clarkism in the chat for you. There you go. Fuck me.
That's who's writing that one down for later on.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've got to feel, though, surely, because you go through first party stuff, and yes, if these games, I mean, Starfield's not, but like, say if the other ones do come to PlayStation, then they're potentially broken there. But this is first party. There is no way they don't have to pay PlayStation to do the verification process and whatever it's called. I can't remember. There's a name for the process. Anyway, basically, when you develop a game, you have to give it to the first parties, and that will cost something extortionate, like $250,000. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less, but it's big anyway. Whatever the number is, and they then will go through the verification process, make sure everything works, tell you if anything does or doesn't work, and so on. You have to feel then with Bethesda's track record and having Xbox in hand and not having to pay that, they can do a lot more verification a lot quickly. There'll be no red tape. The red tape, they've bought out of that red tape for $7.5 billion in essence. So you have to feel that it's got to be good, right? I mean, this is still Bethesda games. We always take the piss about how Bethesda games are always broken at launch, but surely not now, right? We'll see. Will it not be when Starfield is satisfactory? Exactly, that's it. So this wonderful, exceptional game, once they get it to a satisfactory level, they will release it. Nice. That's what video game development is all about. Nice, CG, Project Red, we appreciate you. Tito says, can't wait to see this. If Fallout 76 had 16 times the detail, then how much will Starfield / Elder Scrolls 6 have, Kappa?
Do you know what? I need to play that. I need to play Fallout 76. I need to download it and I need to play it. I didn't play it. I was afraid to play it because of how bad it was received, but now it seems to be in a very, very, very good place and a game that a lot of people recommend. I need to give this a go.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it a go because I've not played any of the Fallout games since 4-ish, which I didn't even play. I was kind of like third person in over my mate Carl's shoulder. He was the one playing it while I was kind of sat with him kind of thing. So I haven't played since then, so I won't be playing this. But people that I know that do play Fallout really enjoy this now. Those that are still playing it, because you get a lot of people that will play games that are long-term games, that are games that are fans of the series, and then you get some people that are kind of like the jump in, jump out fans of the series. I hate to use the word fad because fad is almost seen as a negative, but fad is a legitimate thing. Like you can be a faddy gamer, you can play something that's popular right now, but isn't necessarily your game of choice, and you can still enjoy it and move on. Doesn't mean the fad is a bad thing, but you'll get a lot of fad gamers that would have jumped in Fallout and gone, okay, no, it's shit, fuck off, I didn't get what I want, I moved on. But then the people that have stuck around that know Fallout, that are enjoying it, those people that I speak to now all are really enjoying Fallout very much. So it's got to be a good game to play. Do we think we'll see Elder Scrolls 6 as multi-plats? Ooh, good question. I don't think so.
Not anymore. Or originally, when they announced it, I was like, they can't not. But of course they can. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think about it logically. Yeah, of course, they're not asked. If they're paying that much money, of course they're going to keep it on one system, regardless of the install base of a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5. They're not asked about that. They're asked about the exclusive deal that they have signed. If it made sense to them to make as much money as they can, absolutely, they'll release that on all platforms. But they're paying for a service. They're going to keep it on one console or one platform, i.e. a Microsoft platform.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to throw in the caveat then, but you've just kind of taken the wind out of my sails. Of course it's going to be multi-platform. It's going to be on PC. There you go. And that's going to be the way. We are proud to announce that this game is multi-platform. Those that play on Xbox and on PC play on PC. So yeah, that's I can't see it. I can't see it after what's been said. I genuinely don't feel that they will get any more hatred than they've had already. They've already had a lot of hatred from obviously Sony fanboys wanting those games. So naturally, you've had the stick. Just you're gonna get it anyway. Just stick with it. So I think that's what they're gonna do. Not that I want them to do that. I would like the games to be on PlayStation. So even though anyone late into the stream, I do have a Doom hoodie on, which is Xbox green, but I'm not a fanboy either way. If you was gonna put me in any fanboy camp, I'd be closer aligned to PlayStation than Xbox. But yeah, I see these. Elder Scrolls, maybe even Dooms. Maybe Dooms might be cross-platform, but I think things like Elder Scrolls, I could see those being Xbox only and not PlayStation only. I think that's the way it's going to go. And I think that maybe I'm not. Maybe it's my naivety as a non-Elder Scrolls player. But something like Doom has been around on everything for so long. I think that one would be a harder one to make. First party only when compared to something like Elder Scrolls. Because for me, and when I speak to people that play Elder Scrolls, I mean, Bib obviously mentioned jumping to PC there. Most people that I know that play Elder Scrolls will play it on PC anyway, or have played it on PC. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not part of that audience, but I would feel it would be easier to keep Elder Scrolls to Xbox as long as it's on PC. Whereas Doom, I think there's more of an expectation for that to be multi-platform. But I still see both going to Xbox only.
Yeah.
Ghost Keo, welcome into the stream. How are you doing? How's your day with your dapper ghost? How are you doing? Just in time for us to leave. Hey, welcome in. Goodbye. See you in a bit. Bye. Okay, we are going to drop off. This is the end of the scoop. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around for the last hour and 6 minutes. A nice brief show again. We're getting good at nailing it down close to an hour. This is nice.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap things up. There's not going to be a straightforward afternoon stream today. There could be something later on, depending on how the work stuff goes. But as mentioned, I'm jumping off for food. Bibby's jumping off as well. I could be back on after I finish the work stuff after food this afternoon, just playing a few games of PUBG. So if you want to see that, make sure you follow the channel. You get notified when we go live. If not, you don't have to. It's fine. If not, we will be back 10 a.m. tomorrow for the next episode of The Scoop. That will be, what day are we on? Wednesday? That will be Thursday's episode.
No,
and then,
Thursday, yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be Thursday's episode tomorrow, and then we'll have Friday afterwards. Nice. But we'll have gameplay tomorrow in the afternoon, and potentially on Friday too, because, it's nice. Anyway, before all of that, babe, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much for joining us today for this episode of Scoop. We very much appreciate it. But if you want to help shape our show, there's two ways you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. Or get involved with our Discord. If you are watching this on demand, all the links that you require will be in the link below. If you're watching this live, links will be in the chat. But all we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
That will be. Oh, bollocks, pressing the wrong emote button. Oh, no, that will be at 10 a.m. Ish. As you can see in the chat with the ish and the triggered ish emotes. Nice. Just a reminder for anyone that didn't see at the start of the show, we are Twitch partners, so we now have animated emotes. Plus, we also have follower only emotes as well, which are access, I say follower only, follower emotes that are only available in our channel. That is only a beta, so they may disappear. So feel free to use them whilst they are there. They may disappear soon. Subscriber emotes you can take around Twitch and use elsewhere. Follower emotes can only be used on this channel though. So you'll see them in here, but then if you drop in someone else's channel, say if you follow this raid that we're going to do now, we're going to drop a raid on our friend West if he's still on, then feel free to follow that. And you can use your sub emotes there. You just won't be able to use the follower emotes. But yeah, have yourselves a fantastic day. Stick around for the raid, and we will see you potentially this afternoon, if not 10 a.m. tomorrow. Until then, stay frosty.
Stay frosty.